The term AI and automation is pretty overwhelming. Like the AI topic itself is, it's quite complex, and I think a lot of business owners and people get really overwhelmed with AI. Like I certainly do, even doing this job that I'm doing at the moment, and trying to build my AI consultancy. Even I find technology and things overwhelming, just how quickly things are moving. Um, just to like caveat this, like I'm completely self-taught in AI and automation and building workflows and building AI agents. And yeah, I just want to make this video to kind of explain what I wish someone had explained AI was about in like really, really simple terms. And actually just this is the best way I've found to kind of break it down and how I think about it now when we work with clients and when we build agents and automation for businesses. This is kind of how I process that information. Um, so like the main thing for me with AI and automation is actually to remove those two words completely and to kind of just start with a bit of a blank canvas. And really, for me, the thing that makes AI and automation work is purely just data. So everything is just data. This is the kind of crux of what AI and automation is. And all you're doing and the way that you need to think about AI and automation is you're taking a piece of data, and um, you're either changing it, so you're manipulating that data, so you're changing it. You are you're feeding that data, you're using that data, or like feeding that data into another application or software, or giving that data. So you're like giving that data. Oh, let me just do giving a little bit easier there. You're giving data. You're also able to like speed up the data. So like the way I look at it is that AI allows you to get data quicker than you would typically be able to get that data. So there's a speed piece to it. And so like the way I just really think about data is anything you're doing, whether you're getting that data quicker, whether you're manipulating it and changing it, or whether you're giving that data to someone else, that's kind of all AI and automation is. So when you speak to OpenAI and ChatGPT and you speak to these large language models, all you're doing is going, hey, here's some data I'm giving you, i.e., this is the text that I'm inputting, and then it's giving you data back, and that's it. That's all. That's all that we're doing. So when it comes to things like, I mean, that's not all that it's doing. It's a bit more complex than that I don't even understand. But you might hear terms like large language models and um, you know, I don't know, neural networks, large language models, and coding, and all of these things that actually will really overwhelm you because they're things that you don't necessarily need to know or understand because technology is moving so quickly. You're not needing to actually build those things. There are applications and pieces of software that are going to do this for you. The technology is already there for you to leverage. But what you need to understand, I think, is where that data is going and actually how you're then processing that data and using that data in kind of one of these ways. So, like, if you think about an automation, and all an automation is just logic, then it's taking a piece of data that you've initially given it and it's putting it through a workflow to give you an output or a result of that data. The simplest thing I can think about, the way to look at this is like if you have an automation and your start point is that let's just think, I don't know, you use WhatsApp. Okay, so you've got a WhatsApp message here. This is your message. That data is from your brain, so you giving it to WhatsApp and you going, okay, cool, here's my message, we've got this data, and we're just moving that data along into different pieces of software or different pieces of software or things that we've built that can manipulate that data. So if you're thinking, let's think this is like let's just think content. This is a content workflow. And all you're doing is messaging your WhatsApp or Telegram or whatever it might be, Slack channel. That data gets fed into WhatsApp. The WhatsApp then gets that data and it goes, okay, well, actually, we're going to feed that message directly into ChatGPT. ChatGPT is going to take that data and it's going to process it with what you tell it to do. And then it's going to take that new data, so it's going to manipulate that data, and then it's going to pass it on to whatever. And this might be a CRM system, I don't know, or a database, where you say, okay, we're just then going to put that data into a column or a row in our CRM system or database, in our content table, whatever it might be. And so all you're doing there is literally just you're just either manipulating the data, or you're changing that data, or you're using that data to get an output that you want. Now, obviously, the other thing here is the speed at which you can get data as well. So, like one of the key things that most businesses do, and I've spoken about this a lot because I think it's important, is the speed at which new business comes in. So, if you get a new lead as a business, if you weren't using AI and automation, you might have to wait. I don't know. Someone might not pick up that lead within half an hour or an hour that comes in. And that is a problem, but it's not necessarily like unusual for that to happen. People are busy and not necessarily going to see those things happening, right? Especially if people are on calls or whatever. So all we're doing, and this is where the speed up of that data comes in, is going, well, we've got this new lead. We then go, okay, well, the speed at which we can get that data and do something with it can be exponential. So we can get that, and within less than a minute, we can go, okay, well, we'll take that data of that new lead that's maybe filled out a form on our website, and then we'll go, okay, great, we'll run it through an AI model. That AI model says, actually, this person has really good buying intent, so therefore they need to be get back to you straight away. Then we run that piece of data, that AI that's saying, okay, this is this new data we've got this data, we've gone, okay, brilliant, we've analysed it, we've looked at it, we're now going to pass on some more data to another model, and that model is then going to send a Gmail to that lead that's come in. So the best way to think about AI and automation that I've found, and this is just what's worked really well for me, is it is just the manipulation of data, the speed at which you can get that data and what you do with it. And so all we think about, and not even with AI, but even with just basic automation, where you've got pieces of software, you might have a let's just say you've got a Google Sheet, and then you have a I don't know, you've got a email template. I'm just kind of making this up. And all you're doing is going, well, actually, in that Google Sheet, we've got this data, and we want that data to be looked at, and we want that to be, we want emails to be sent to all the email accounts within that Google Sheet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to update our CRM again. And really, all it is when we talk about automation, all we're really doing is going, well, this piece of software over here has got some data, and we're taking that data and what we want it to do, and we're saying, okay, we're going to put it into this other piece of software or this other piece of software, and we're going to start either manipulating it, changing it, or using that data and creating more data. And so try not to think too much about like how AI actually works, because you never understand it. I mean, you certainly, you definitely will if you put enough time into it, but even I don't fully understand how AI can give me that message back, or ChatGPT, I can message ChatGPT and it gives it that message back to me. But I understand that actually all I'm doing is feeding it ones and zeros, because it's not actually reading what I have. All it's doing is taking ones and zeros and taking that text and then giving me something back. And so that's the best way I have found that really works for me. And then, of course, you've got AI agents, which, we look at automation. I've spoken about this a little bit on the channel. Automation is just kind of workflow logic. You do one thing and it, you go through the different steps of that workflow, and eventually you get an output, and you'll typically get that output all the time. If you look at AI agents and the way that works, we just have our AI agent here. And again, all we're doing is we'll typically have an input to this. So whatever that might be, there will be a message that goes into this input, whether it's a customer service agent, a content agent, whether it's someone to manage your email inbox, there will be an input that happens. Something happens, whether that be I don't know, an email comes in. So, okay, we've got an AI agent watching our inbox, and it sees a new piece of data come in through our Gmail, which is just an email that comes in, and it can look at that and read it. It might just be someone's messaging that AI agent. So if you've got a customer service agent on your website, all that the user is doing is putting in a message to that agent and saying, hey, I need your help, and the agent is taking that data. Let's say it's something like a personal assistant agent. You might have, again, we'll just use a WhatsApp or Telegram or Slack channel over here. Let's just call it Slack this time. And all that Slack channel is doing, all you're doing is, again, you're pushing data towards the AI agent. Now, the difference with an AI agent is it will kind of fundamentally be able to read what you're saying. So it'll be able to read that data that you're inputting, and then it will be able to decide what you want it to do. So that's where it's a bit more, it's effectively a bit more autonomous in that sense, in that an automation workflow is just logic, but an AI agent is going, okay, we've got this Slack message that says, hey, can you send an email to joe.blogs at whatever? And it will go, okay, cool, let me go into Gmail, let me go into our into our CRM system, let me understand what this Joe person does and get his details, and then I'll go through and then I'll put it in our Gmail and then I'll send an email. And you might have some information, you'll have more data within this AI agent that sets its kind of its tone, its structure. You're telling it how to act and how to behave. Lots of people say that AI agents are more like employees, and I agree to an extent, in that you can have lots of AI agents doing different things. But again, remember, an AI agent is only just as good as the data you give it, and the data, and it's just processing that data or manipulating that data in a certain way. And for me, that's the easiest way to think about it. I don't think AI agents and automation is going to go anywhere. It's going to be an industry that continues to grow. But I think for anyone that doesn't understand agents or automation, this is the best way I've found over the last year to kind of, when I'm talking to businesses about it, I'm not thinking about the automation or the AI itself. I'm kind of going, okay, all you're asking to do is you want to take this piece of data and you want it to go over here, or you want to take that piece of data and you want to change it into something else, or you want to receive that data a lot quicker. And that's kind of the easiest way for me to explain it. I would love to know if, like, what else you think about AI and automation, AI agents, and kind of how you process it. But for me, it is literally all it is just data. It is just data that's typically in the form of either most data you're going to see is that you get in form of messages, so words, i.e. you're messaging something, it's taking those words, it's reading them, and it's doing something with it. Or there's going to be things like triggers or things that happen that will set off the agent or the workflow. It will be something that gets updated, again, normally sometimes with words. If you've got a content table, or if you've got a AI chatbot on your website, those things are still being triggered by words ultimately, and that text is coming through as data, and then the AI agent or the automation workflow is doing that for you, and it's processing that data exactly how you wanted to set it up as. So yeah, that's exactly what I very much wish someone had told me this a year ago, how to think about this, because when I first started doing this, I was very overwhelmed with trying to think that I needed to learn large language models and coding and understand just exactly how this agent was processing data and actually doing it, whereas actually you don't need to know that. All you need to know is what goes in and what comes out, and you can tweak around with the input and the output by just setting the guardrails in place and setting the context of that chat or that workflow. So yeah, I hope this helps. Let me know what you think, and I'll continue sharing my journey and my learnings on the channel, and kind of what I'm finding in the AI and automation space. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you've got other ways of thinking about it, and how you go about kind of processing exactly what automation AI is all about. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video.